Big wildfires come with all kinds of risks. In 2020, Oregon saw just how destructive they can be, taking people's lives, burning their homes, and wiping out entire towns. On top of all that, the state faced a new kind of wildfire danger. When the Mosher Creek fire started burning homes in the Columbia River Gorge in August, firefighters took on a risk they'd been trying to avoid all season. Fire camp. The coronavirus pandemic was raging across the globe right as the fire season hit, and fighting fires can involve hundreds or even thousands of firefighters camping together in one place. How would they avoid spreading the virus?
The number one thing we were concerned about was risk of COVID spread among the fire service and what that does in terms of reduction of firefighters.
Good morning, everybody.
Here's a typical scene from a normal fire camp. It's cramped and crowded with people, the kind of place where the coronavirus could thrive.
Many times in fire camps, we deal with what we call the camp crud.
Camp crud is notorious in fire camps. With so many people sharing the same space, cold and flu viruses spread easily from one firefighter to another.
We mitigate infectious disease through the medical unit, but COVID-19 is a whole new ball game for us.
So when firefighters from across the region came to fight the Mosher Creek fire in August, they followed a whole new set of rules.
We are setting up camps differently. We're serving foods differently. We're fighting fire differently.
They called it the COVID module.
This is the first team in Oregon that has deployed with the COVID module. So we're really testing it.
The planning for all of this started months earlier. Firefighters got special training, not just on fighting wildfire, but on reducing the spread of a potentially deadly camp crud.
All right, guys, ready, set, go.
The pandemic brought new tactical problems for everyone, from the most experienced firefighters to the new recruits.
Brutal. Dude, that was unacceptable.
You guys had a few hiccups, right?
Yeah. You had the perfect technique. If it were flipped over, you would have just watched that thing sail right off.
COVID is a logistical problem, and it is a problem, but it's a temporary problem, and we're trained problem solvers.
Are you guys ready? Yeah.
Time for redemption, boys.
Go.
There you go.
Training with COVID meant smaller class sizes, more sanitizing, and lots of hand washing.
It's small inconveniences compared to what we usually face every summer. Lightning storms and fires don't care about our problems, and there's a job to do, and we're going to continue to do it.
And they did more training outdoors, though not quite the way they used to.
What you're looking at now is mobile attack, and we like to call it pump and roll.
Normally, pump and roll training looks more like this. But this year, they decided not to train with live fire because the smoke could increase the health risks of COVID-19 for people living nearby. Instead, they're pretending this circle of concrete is a ring of fire.
We're using the helipad as a make-believe fire. It's not as effective, but it is going to definitely do the trick.
Ava, are you next?
She's up.
Perfect.
The new recruits, like Ava Burkhart,
Remember, you set the pace.
there's still plenty to learn, even without live fire.
They've still been able to illustrate things in such a way that it's like, okay, this is where the fire is going to be. Like, just imagine it in your head.
You did great. A little faster.
Okay.
I mean, I know we're doing fake fires, but fire dictates your speed.
Ava definitely noticed the unusual pandemic requirements.
You have checks where you take your temperature before shift and after shift. So it's a little bit strange.
But she never considered staying home to avoid the risk of COVID-19.
Because you're working towards something. You're saving people's homes or their land. It's like, you know what? I'm in love with this. This is what I want to do.
All right, let's pick it up a little bit.
For many firefighters, the pandemic is just one more hazard they have to look out for.
Hydrate! Hydrate!
There's so many risks and it's scary. At a moment's notice, a tree can fall, there can be a rock falling from a cliff or something. You never know.
Move in!
Move it!
Moving.
It's very rewarding at the end. You know, I take these risks for a reason. Like, I want to help. I want to give back.
The threat of losing firefighters to COVID-19 loomed over the fire season.
We hire a certain amount of people every summer.
Take a knee.
And if we turn out to have a dent in our ranks from coronavirus, there's nobody we have in the wings waiting to replace those folks. And that's why it's super important that we stay vigilant on this, because we cannot afford to do it with less people than we have now.
Leaders were hoping to catch fires early using remote cameras. That way, they could put them out quickly and avoid the need for lots of firefighters camping in one place. And for most of the summer, they did.
Two days ago, we had a fire that started just outside of Mosier. And that fire, it grew rapidly. By 10 p.m., it was over 500 acres. Homes were threatened. Homes had already been burned by that point.
When the Mosier Creek fire started burning homes in the Columbia River Gorge, the state set up its first pandemic fire camp to house and feed hundreds of firefighters. The tents were carefully separated into units, each with its own set of portable toilets and a hand washing station.
So if you are working on a certain area of the fire, we're considering you a module of one, which means that logistically you're camping together, you're eating together, and you're not intermixing.
Mealtime had to be completely rearranged. There was no more eating together at big tables. Instead, they wore masks in 100-degree heat to pick up boxed meals they could carry to separate spaces. It's a far cry from the friendly chow lines of the past. But that didn't change Bill Smith's thinking at the end of a long, hot day on the fire line.
I'm ready to get some dinner for sure.
The pandemic is a concern for us, but if we can't overcome the logistical problems that COVID presents us, there's no way the public of Oregon can entrust us to aggressively attack the catastrophic fire.